For centuries, one image has dominated our imagination. 300 Spartans standing against a vast empire at the hot gates of Thermopylae. We see them in our mind's eye, forged in bronze and iron, their capes flowing in the wind. Fearless, unbreakable, invincible. Popular culture has painted them as superhuman warriors, the ultimate fighting machine, a society perfected for war. But this is only a fraction of the story, a brilliant, shining myth that obscures a much more complex and fragile reality. The truth is, while Sparta was indeed powerful, disciplined, and feared throughout the ancient world, it was built on a dark and unstable foundation. Its legendary strength concealed a fatal weakness, one that would ultimately lead to a catastrophic defeat on the fields of Leuctra. This isn't the story of how Spartans died. This is the story of how their legend was shattered and why their seemingly invincible society was destined to fall. Sparta was not invincible. Sparta was unlike any other Greek city-state, a society engineered for a single purpose: war. This process began at the tender age of 7, when boys were forcibly removed from their families to enter the agoge, a brutal state-sponsored training system designed to forge warriors, not individuals. Life in the barracks was a shock of cold discipline. They were taught to endure pain, to walk barefoot year-round, and were issued a single cloak to withstand both summer heat and winter frost. Rations were deliberately scarce, forcing them to steal food to survive. The crime wasn't the theft itself, but the clumsiness of being caught, a lesson in cunning and stealth. Their loyalty was rewired, transferred from family to their syssitia, the communal mess hall where they ate and lived with their comrades. For a select few, this culminated in the Cryptia, a secret police tasked with terrorizing the helot population. The goal was absolute: to create a selfless, unthinking component of the Spartan phalanx, who valued the state above all else and would fight without a moment's hesitation. By adulthood, a Spartan male was a full-time soldier. No farming, no trade, only war. Their strength depended on the phalanx, a tight formation where unity was everything. If one soldier broke, the entire line could collapse. For a time, it worked. Sparta dominated the Peloponnese and became the most feared land army in Greece. But discipline does not mean invincibility, and cracks were already forming. In 371 BC, Sparta faced Thebes at the Battle of Leuctra. Expecting another victory, the Spartans were confident. But the Theban general Epaminondas changed warfare forever. He concentrated his forces on one side, overwhelming Sparta's elite warriors. The Spartan line broke. Their king was killed. Their army collapsed. For the first time in generations, Sparta had suffered a decisive defeat in open battle. The myth of invincibility was shattered. But Sparta's weakness was deeper than one battle. A tiny warrior elite ruled over a massive enslaved population known as helots. These helots farmed the land and sustained the Spartan state. They outnumbered citizens many times over. Sparta lived in constant fear of helot rebellion. Their army wasn't just defending borders, it was policing their own society. Every Spartan lost was nearly impossible to replace. After Leuctra, Sparta never fully recovered. Citizen numbers declined. Wealth concentrated in fewer hands. While other Greek states adapted, Sparta remained rigid. The system that once created strength now guaranteed decline. The Spartans were indeed formidable. Their discipline was legendary, their courage on the battlefield fearsome. For centuries, their name alone was enough to inspire awe and terror across the ancient world. But they were never invincible. The shocking defeat at Leuctra shattered their aura of supremacy, but the cracks had been forming for generations. Their society, built on the backs of the oppressed helot population, was a fortress under constant siege from within. This internal fear bred a rigid, conservative mindset that resisted change even as the world evolved around them. Their citizen body dwindled, wealth became concentrated, and the very system designed to create perfect warriors ultimately proved too brittle to survive. The legend of Sparta is powerful, but history is rarely so simple. The truth is a far more complex and fascinating story, a cautionary tale about how a society's greatest strengths can become its fatal flaws. The fall of Sparta teaches us that no system is immune to the pressures of history, and that the most enduring strength is the ability to adapt.